Imagine you're 19 years old. You've just landed your first big movie role, and you're working with a legendary director. Every day, you're convinced you're about to get fired. That was exactly the situation for Zoey Deutch back when she was filming Everybody Wants Some with the one and only Richard Linklater. She was so nervous, so full of those classic intrusive thoughts, he hates me, I'm terrible, I'm definitely getting cut out of this movie. The role was small enough that the film could easily exist without her. But then, in the middle of all this anxiety, Linklater says something completely out of the blue. He tells her, I have this dream of one day casting you as Jean Seberg. For Zoey, that one sentence was a lifeline. It was the first sign that maybe, just maybe, she wasn't going to be cut from the movie after all. It was more than just a compliment. It was a promise of a future she hadn't even dared to imagine. Now, fast forward 11 years, that offhand comment, that little seed planted in the mind of a nervous teenager, has finally blossomed into reality. Zoey Deutch, now 30, is starring as the iconic Jean Seberg in Linklater's brand new film, Nouvelle, a black and white French-language love letter to the golden age of French cinema. This is the incredible, full-circle story of how a director's dream and an actress's decade-long journey finally collided. Let's rewind a bit to understand just how special this moment is. Zoey Deutch basically grew up in Hollywood. Her dad is director Howard Deutch, who made classics like Pretty in Pink. And her mom is the beloved actress and director Lee Thompson from Back to the Future. So, the film industry is in her blood. She started auditioning while she was still in high school, and it wasn't long after graduating that she landed that part in Everybody Wants Some. Her first meeting with Richard Linklater was pure, quintessential Instead of sending a car, he picked her up from the Austin airport himself. During the drive, he played the music that would eventually become the film's iconic soundtrack, like My Sharona. That set the tone for the whole production. The cast didn't stay in fancy hotels. They all lived together on Linklater's ranch. It was an immersive, collaborative experience that forged a unique bond between the director and his young cast. For Zoey, working with him as a teenager and then again now as a woman has been a profoundly enlightening experience. It's a surreal journey, going from a supporting player worried about her screen time to the leading lady of his passion project. The new film, Nouvelle, which debuts on Netflix, dramatizes the making of Jean-Luc Godard's revolutionary 1960 film, Breathless. That movie was a landmark of the French New Wave, and it is what turned the American actress Jean Seberg into an international icon, famous for her pixie haircut and effortless Parisian cool. So, when Linklater officially offered Zoey the role, there was just one tiny little problem. She didn't speak a lick of French. But did that stop her? Absolutely not. This was the role she had been subconsciously preparing for since she was 19. Long before the contracts were even signed, Zoey dove headfirst into intensive French lessons. She was so committed that she also decided to chop off her hair into Seberg's signature pixie cut. This actually made Linklater a little nervous. A week before she was scheduled to get the haircut, he sent her an email, gently suggesting maybe she should wait a bit. They didn't have all the funding secured yet, and he was terrified she'd cut her hair and then the movie would fall through. But Zoe's commitment was unwavering. This was happening, even with all her preparation and determination. Those old anxieties started to creep back in right before she was supposed to fly to Paris. She found herself wondering, who else is he talking to for this part? Is there another actress with better foreign box office appeal? It's a classic actor's insecurity, that feeling that it could all be taken away at any moment. But as soon as her plane touched down in the City of Light, all that doubt just melted away. The shoot itself was a whirlwind. It was a true indie production. Even though it was eventually acquired by Netflix, there were no fancy trailers or personal dressing rooms. It was just the cast and crew running around Paris, guerrilla style, stealing shots on the fly. They fully embraced the spirit of the French New Wave. They were portraying fast, nimble, and beautifully chaotic. For Zoe, this life of chaos felt surprisingly familiar and comfortable. She says she thrives in that kind of environment. In fact, she just finished another movie where they did a whole sequence stealing shots on Hollywood Boulevard, using iPhones and getting people to sign release waivers after they'd already been filmed. At one point, a stranger even put a snake around her neck. As she puts it, I'm a changed woman. This transformation isn't just about being comfortable with snakes on Hollywood Boulevard. It's much deeper than that. Zoe has been incredibly open about her lifelong struggle with self-criticism. For a long time, she truly believed that the harder she was on herself, the better her performances would be. She operated under the assumption that self-hatred was a necessary fuel for her art. But recently, she had a major breakthrough. She was watching another talented young actress go through the same self-flagellation she used to put herself through, and it was like looking in a mirror. She saw how incredibly counterproductive it was, and she realized how much precious time and energy she had wasted hating herself. With the help of her acting teacher, she decided to confront this negative inner voice. They personified that little devil on her shoulder, giving it a character, and then, together, they performed a ritual to finally say goodbye to it. It was a symbolic act of letting go, of choosing self-compassion over self-destruction, and the change has been palpable. She says she's a completely different person on set now. Gone is the nervous teenager who was sure she was getting fired. In her place is a confident, collaborative artist. She laughs as she says, "You should hear me with Rick now." I'm like, what do you think about doing a movie on Natalie Wood? What about a role in Merrily We Roll Along? I can't stop pitching myself. This journey from a 19-year-old filled with self-doubt to a 30-year-old powerhouse who pitches ideas to her legendary director is nothing short of inspiring. It's a testament to growth, perseverance, and the power of letting go of the things that hold you back. Her performance as Jean Seberg isn't just the culmination of a decade-old dream. It's the celebration of an artist who has truly found her voice, both on and off the screen. It's a full-circle moment that reminds us that sometimes the most unexpected conversations can change the entire trajectory of your life. So when you watch Nouvelle, you're not just watching a film about the making of Breathless, you're watching the beautiful results of a promise made 11 years ago. A promise that an actress never forgot, and a director was determined to keep. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more deep dives into the world of cinema. See you in the next video.